My name is Len. I'm 32 years old. I live in a family that appears ordinary on the surface, but is, in reality, filled with darkness. My father, David, is 55. He runs an advertising production company that once had a modest reputation. He is arrogant and stubborn, always blaming others for his mistakes and never reflecting on himself. My mother passed away from illness when I was 23, and since then, the atmosphere in our home has only grown more suffocating. My younger sister, Amy, is Vinci Ioit. She's a trend-chasing fashion blogger, vain and self-centered, blindly follows my father's opinions in order to win his approval. My uncle, Mark, 48, used to drift from one odd job to another. After failing in his own career, he attached himself to my father's company, but developed a drinking problem. He is weak-willed and often causes trouble when drunk. My grandmother, Ruth, 70, appears righteous and moral on the surface, but in truth is sharp-tongued and cruel, often using religion as a justification to hurt others. 3 years ago, my father's company began to struggle financially due to increasing market competition, rising material costs, and clients delaying payments. Around that time, I had just ended a failed engagement and moved back home. I work as an online project strategist and operations consultant. My job doesn't require a fixed office, but I provide professional planning and operational guidance for various companies, and the income is quite substantial. However, in my family's eyes, this kind of work holds no value. They only respect physical labor or jobs tied to a fixed workplace. At first, I only helped my father occasionally organizing documents and handling simple financial issues. But as the company's situation worsened, I became more deeply involved. I restructured the financial processes, corrected tax filing errors, negotiated extended payment terms with suppliers, and even helped recover several long overdue accounts. Yet my father never acknowledged my contributions in front of others. Whenever a client called and I resolved the issue, he would casually dismiss it as luck or say I had only handled something insignificant. At home, I wasn't just dealing with company matters. I was also covering various household expenses. My sister constantly borrowed money from me, claiming she would repay it after brand collaborations, but she never did. My uncle frequently caused problems due to drunken mistakes, and I had to clean up after him. My grandmother mocked me relentlessly, saying that at my age, being unmarried and without a proper job made me a disgrace to the family. Then my father started planning to sell the house and downsize the company. At a family gathering, in front of relatives and neighbors, he announced that I had 3 months to move out. He said that at my age, still living at home meant I was a freeloader, and that I needed to learn a lesson by struggling on my own. In that moment, I didn't feel hurt anymore. I made a decision. I began collecting evidence documenting everything I had done for this family. I recorded every payment I had made for the company over the past 30 months. Emergency material purchases, software subscriptions, vehicle insurance and repairs, and all the costs I had covered to keep critical projects from collapsing. I also documented the money I had lent my sister, the financial crises I had resolved for my uncle, and the countless late nights I had spent fixing my father's company problems. A week before my father's deadline, I received an invitation from a long-term client. They wanted me to join an important project in their city, offering excellent compensation and a stable working environment. I accepted without hesitation and quietly prepared to leave. I rented a small storage unit nearby and moved my belongings in batches, pretending each time that I was simply going out as usual. No one in my family noticed. On the day my father had set for me to leave, I returned home. A massive banner hung across the garage. "Get out, parasite, don't come back." The yard looked like a party. Relatives and neighbors sat around laughing and chatting. My uncle, drunk as usual, shouted that I was a failure who had achieved nothing and shamelessly relied on the family. My sister joined in, even throwing a hot dog at my car and yelling, "Here's your last free meal, loser." My father stood there wearing an apron that read Grill Master, watching it all with pride, as if he were celebrating a victory. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I walked inside, picked up the last box from the laundry room, then came back out and took a photo of the banner and of the mocking faces beneath it. My father sneered, saying I had finally decided to keep a souvenir. I said nothing. I got in my car and drove away. For the first few days after I left, no one contacted me. They probably thought I had been intimidated into submission. But soon, the problems began. The company's project management software was shut down due to missed payments, throwing all operations into chaos. Suppliers refused to provide urgent materials because of outstanding debts, putting a major order at risk of breach. Even the utilities were about to be cut off because I had disabled the automatic payments. My sister was the first to call. She was crying, saying my father had become irritable. My uncle was panicking about losing his job, and my grandmother kept complaining that the family was cursed. She said her working hours at the beauty salon had been reduced due to the company's financial issues, and she couldn't afford rent. She asked me to send her $600. I asked her if she knew why our father couldn't help her. She didn't. So I sent her a script of her borrowing money from me, along with part of the expenses I had covered for the company. She went silent for a long time. Then she accused me of taking revenge on the family. Meanwhile, my father began calling and messaging me constantly. At first, he was aggressive, demanding to know what I had done to the company. But as the situation worsened, his tone shifted to pleading. He said the company was about to collapse and asked me to come back and help. He offered me a contractor role, saying we could discuss payment once cash flow improved, calling it an opportunity to rebuild trust between us. I refused. I told him I would not return, and I would no longer provide unpaid or deferred labor. Any future contact would have to be based on respect and limited to personal matters. Not long after, my grandmother called. She didn't apologize. Instead, she tried to negotiate. She shifted the blame onto me, saying everyone had made mistakes and that I should come back and talk things through calmly. She even invoked my mother, saying she would be heartbroken to see us like this. This time, I wasn't moved. I told her that if my mother could see how her daughter had been humiliated by her own family, she wouldn't be happy either. Later, my sister came to the city where I was living. She looked exhausted, nothing like her usual self. She told me what had been happening at home. My father's company was on the brink of collapse. My uncle was frequently absent out of fear, and my grandmother was constantly furious over money. She apologized. She admitted she had treated me terribly, especially the hot dog incident. She said she had only done it to gain our father's approval. She also told me that after I left, my father had begun taking out his anger on everyone else, and the entire household had descended into chaos. I let her stay the night. We talked for a long time. In the end, my father's company didn't survive. The house was sold to cover debts. My grandmother moved in with relatives. My uncle had to stay with friends. My father rented a small place and tried to start over. But without key clients and sufficient capital, the company's future looked bleak. As for me in my new city, my career began to take off. Starting with a single project, I built a strong reputation and gained more opportunities. Eventually, I founded my own LLC, secured stable clients, and earned a substantial income. I bought a larger home. I bought a new car. For the first time, my life felt calm and fulfilling. Through it all, I learned not to base my worth on my family's approval. I came to understand that true value lies in my own effort and growth. I still keep that photo. It reminds me of the past I endured and the freedom I fought to claim.